Hey guys, it's Devin with Sip, Savor, and Celebrate. You remember my co-host Chris?
And we have a special guest, Juan Pablo from Don Felix. I've kind of been really excited about this because up until our
Yeah, this is a brand that's not really well known, and
right,
and it is got some great juice and great flavor behind it.
right. I didn't even know anything about Don Felix until we were able to visit and meet you and Anna at Hacienda Vieja, where this is actually made. So we want to bring it to you guys out there to, hey, get this on your list because as we're about to go through these, we've already had the Blanco before, and we know it's amazing. So I'm kind of excited about these because we haven't opened them yet. So we're excited about that. But welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
Great, thanks. Thanks, both of you, to inviting me in this interview. And I think it will be very exciting for me. It's the first time actually I have an
Okay,
interview
okay.
with, yeah.
Well, the first of many, because once people start realizing how good this juice is, I mean, I think it's gonna write itself, right? Um, so first of all, will you let us know the story behind Don Felix? Like, I understand he's actually a relative of yours.
Yes, actually, it's my grandfather. He passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And for to mention or to talk about Don Felix is to be uh, to relate it with Hacienda Vieja.
Okay.
Hacienda Vieja, like it was this brand came about 2002,
Okay.
and in 2010, beginning in 2011, my father and his brothers, my uncles actually, to make an honor with his father,
Okay.
they came out with a new brand, Don Felix, but the first brand was Don Felix Añejo, no Plata and
Really?
Reposado. Yeah.
Okay. Well, man, I'm excited. We visited Hacienda Vieja, and it was a really cool distillery. It's kind of like right in the heart of the city there in Anarandes. But then we had the privilege of going out to see your new place that you folks are building. And boy, that's going to be a big place. It's going to look really, really nice. And you got some room to move out there at the farm. And I did see the Don Felix logo all over in the stadium there. Is that for like rodeos or?
No, yeah, yeah. For here in Mexico, we call it charreada.
Okay.
The charros, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that'd be cool.
It's not the AT&T Stadium,
It's to me, it's a big.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we absolutely loved was being able to. We had about an hour and a half, so we were able to kind of walk around and see the farm and whatnot, and that was one thing that we were kind of in the stands of it. It's like, could you imagine, like if this was actually happening right now?
Yes.
So we enjoyed that a lot.
Yes, that's definitely. Thank you for the invite out there. So
no,
let's
no,
get
no, thanks to
to
you.
it. Because I know that you're still involved in this. You're the director, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So your passion to continue the brand, where is that because you want to honor your grandfather? Is this you just really love what you do, or tell us a little more about your role in keeping the Don Felix going.
Well, actually, I just have 1 year
Okay.
here in the industry. They have me allowed the opportunity, my father and my uncles, to introduce me and to have me this opportunity in the industry, and also at the head of the distillery.
Okay.
For me to have uh, all the history and all the traditions from many generations, and I am the third generation, is a passion, and is an honor to have all these traditions in this world.
Right. And I have to say I honestly felt that at every distillery that we did visit. And I respect that you're really honoring the traditions. I mean, we didn't go to those big box brands that's not us. We're more the distilleries that actually keep everything traditional.
Want to keep a story going.
Yeah, and keep a story going like you guys are. So let's go ahead and let's start diving into it. Let's get into the Blanco. If you could explain to us and the audience how the process of making the Blanco is. I know we were there, but I would like to have you share that with us.
Well, with Don Felix Blanco, we use agave from the highlands only. A minimum from 5 years of mature. We do it. We cook in autoclave for around 22 hours with low pressure.
That's why you get all the sweetness, is because it's the low pressure. That's how you're doing that. Good job.
Yeah.
Because when we were sitting in your restaurant there, you guys had us as one of Anna's classes. You had us try the Hacienda Vieja Blanco, and then you guys had this one there as well. Which this was one of them that we were like, "What is that? We gotta have it." So I mean, out of what did we have, like 4 or 5 of them that morning? It was around 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're having tequila with you guys like it's a normal thing. It was awesome. But this is definitely one that, stuck out to us because we don't always agree on things, which that's why we're who we are. But this was one that we were like, this is really awesome. So
definitely. So then, as you said, you went slow pressure in the autoclave. When you ferment it, what is the typical time? I've seen the open air tanks, of course.
Yeah.
But typically, is it like we ferment it for 5 days? We ferment it with, like
we fermented for almost 8 days.
Okay.
And also that we have the same recipe since my grandfather.
Okay.
He has a. Can I mention other brands? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well,
no. Well, he used to have Cazadores. He owns Cazadores.
Cazadores. Okay.
Really interesting.
So we use the same recipe, and in the fermentation area, we used to have we use music, Mozart music.
Okay. I like that. We saw that a couple times.
Yeah. So between 7 and 8 days, we fermented the Don Felix.
Okay. So on the nose, I'm getting rich, bold cooked agave on the nose, followed by some mint and a little bit of floral at the top as well. What are you getting?
I'm definitely on the agave train, which good thing because we are talking about tequila. But I'm getting a lot of like clay and minerality today.
Okay.
And so it's very unique, especially at that 6 o'clock. It's like we're standing there in your agave field. The smells that were very earthy is what's coming out today.
Just like what we tried that day when we were sitting there in the restaurant. It's so bold and beautiful and just rich and in full-bodied aromas. That's the best I can explain it. Let's go in for the taste. Salud.
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 My first drink today, so imagine that. Give me a second. I wanted to have the second one where I really like to talk about that.
Definitely agave forward, mint forward. I'm getting a little more pepper today, but but it's still a nice coat on the palate. It's kind of a white pepper that's dancing on the sides with like a black pepper across the front of the tongue.
I definitely get the white pepper. I get the cooked agave. I get the pepper first, then cooked agave, a mint in the background, and the lasting flavor of like a warm cinnamon to me. This is to me today, and it's delicious. I'm sorry.
I've
been on the cinnamon for a couple weeks.
I'll give you the cinnamon, but I also equate that with kind of like the soil,
Okay.
kind of just finishing it out, because you do get, depending upon where it's grown, etc., different things that come out of it.
Now I got to ask you an inside joke. Do you get the chocolate today?
Not on this one.
We told Oswald we would be talking about the chocolate today.
Okay.
Sorry about it. It was when we were at the restaurant. We were all talking about, does this one get chocolate or no? So that was great, and I have to agree. This is the one we've already had before. I've already been dipping into this. Is my bottle at home. I wanted to go with the one we opened already, and you can see we've been drinking it. It's just really, really good. And I mean, I love sipping the tequila first off, but in a mixed drink, this would be really good as well. You know, a good margarita or even a Paloma, I think would be great. But I just love sipping my tequila like neat.
So this is a brand, as we've said, that is not something that was on our radar. Do you have plans of kind of making this a bigger brand, easier to get marketing wise?
Yes, actually, sure. That the distillery that you just visit a few months ago, that distillery was the beginning of everything. Was the beginning from history of a dream from my grandfather.
Okay.
But right now, myself at the front of the fabric of the brands of everything, I have a new vision to bring more capacity, and also to see more opportunities in other countries, in other states. 2 weeks ago, the first bottles of the Felix already shipped all the way through Singapore. So we're looking.
Oh,
that's so we've seen this on I know. I opened the bottle and immediately the beautiful sweet aromas coming from this reposado is it is a reposado. Okay, I want to make sure because it smells amazingly good.
That is not just oak. You're using a couple different barrels, aren't you?
Yeah, actually, I want to mention in Don Felix Plata, after the 30 days of stabilization, we put it around 20 days on barrels, the Don Felix Plata.
Okay.
Just to take a little bit of wood in the flavor, but not enough to have it in the vision.
Okay.
Yeah, the color. Yeah, that's right.
So, that's kind of awesome. No. We for folks out there, how to purchase this, right now I know it is still available. The Blanco is available on Old Town Tequila right now for only $39.99. I'm sure shortly they'll get back in the Repo and the Añejo, but when they did have it, the Repo was $37.99 and the Añejo was $54.99 at the time of I'm just looking it up right now. They're out. These two options are out at the moment, but great resource for purchasing yours. Is there, obviously that's out in California, and I think Chicago also has it too, if I'm correct.
Yes. Yes.
We love going to Chicago. Over there, Mornos and La Venta. Oh, I love those two places. I spend too much money when I go there. I'm just saying.
And guys, price point wise, we aren't talking about hundreds of dollars. This is 37 to 50 bucks, and the flavors behind this are amazing.
It will knock out none of that other expensive brands that have the beautiful bottles. You know what I'm talking about. This is 10 times better juice than that garbage. Oh,
10?
sorry.
10?
10 times better.
Sorry, I'm over here at like 100 times. Like this is really a brand that, as we've said a couple times, has grown. And so we're excited to see that, your story is going to live on, and we're hoping to, bring that more forward to those in the tequila community so that you get, more recognition, not only for grandpa, but the family as well.
Right. So let's go on to the repo. Would you go ahead and explain the process? How long you age it, what barrels that you use for making the reposado, if you wouldn't mind, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, the reposado is the same recipe, the same process in the cook, in the fermentation, also in the distillation. But the difference here from the other brands like Hacienda Vieja is that we repose around 8 months
Okay.
in oak barrels.
Now, are they used or are they virgin barrels?
No, are virgin barrels.
Virgin barrels. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Man,
it's beautiful.
It's really good. It's really good.
And that agave is not lost in that nose.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. So now I get a softer agave. Like this one is just straight up bold, like cooked agave with some mint and pepper and a little bit of other things. This one, it kind of muted this a little bit, still not losing the agave, but now we're going to introduce some things like a little bit of vanilla. There's still that floral note. It's like a sweetness, floral.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a beautiful sweetness around that 5 o'clock.
Now, folks, when I say sweetness, I'm not saying, hey, this is like straight up sugar or somebody poured syrup in it. No, I'm not talking that at all. But this is like a beautiful, soft sweetness that kind of brings everything together. And it literally is a complete package.
A little bit of a powder essence to it.
Yeah. So it's just like soft, powdery, a little sweetness to it. And then there's still the cooked agave to it. It's just
this
nice.
one up around that 11 o'clock, I get just a hint of alcohol.
Do you?
It's ever so lightly, like
Okay.
the average Joe is not going to notice.
I'm like, I'm not. Ready to go in?
I'm ready.
Salud.
Salud.
Now I'm getting a nice reposado whiskey flair to it. So it's a little bit of a tiny little bit of a bite. I get that. I get the cooked agave. I get cinnamon. I don't get the pepper like I did on this one, but then I get baking spices like clove, and like a spice cake, almost not cake, but not that
like a cooked vanilla, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree. That Blanco is beautiful. Then you get the oak almost right away, and then it kind of mellows out as it works its way down the tongue. A little bit of mint, a little bit of cinnamon. I do get just an ever slight heat of pepper.
Yeah. Okay.
But the actual flavor of the pepper goes away.
That's where I'm getting the cinnamon. To me, that's the cinnamon part of it.
I'm gonna say that there is cinnamon, but I'm also getting like the heat of that pepper. So, both kind of avenues there. And then it just finishes out very nice. And I want to say it's like a good kind of cobbler finish, like a little bit of that spice, a little bit of that sweet.
I'm on the spice cake finish. That's where I'm getting from this one. Again, I personally, I would be sipping this nice and neat. However, if you were to try to make something with this, I make maybe
Beautiful Manhattan.
You took the words out of my mouth. Would you stop that?
A beautiful Manhattan would be amazing with that.
I would definitely make either Manhattan. I wonder if smoked Manhattan would be too much, or would it be kind of neat to play around with? This is a good reposado. I like that it gives you kind of the both worlds. So like folks that are coming from the whiskey world, I think they would really, really like this one. I think this would be a great opportunity for them to start off with, for folks that are normally into whiskeys. It's good, delicious, a slight sweetness with some vanilla and all of the cinnamons and spice cake type flavors. But that's this one. Do me a favor. You know what? And I know you guys explained this to me, but you told me that, I don't know if you can see that on the back of Oswald's card, you also have them on these little clasps here, and on the back of the bottle, you have this symbol, which is, you guys told us it meant something.
Yeah.
Can you help explain to us what that was again?
Yeah, sure, guys. Actually, that was the mark that we use for our cows, our horses.
So, like, you brand them?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and actually, that one is from my great grandfather. Used to be from him. He passed from my grandfather, and now from my father and my uncles. We use for the cows and also the horses, like I just mentioned in the beginning of the conversation. Also, I am a charwoman. Also, I practice charreria. Yeah.
That's so cool. Do us if that I know what that is, but just a quick little synopsis of what that is to our customers, to our audience. If you would please let people know what that is. I know what it is, but I think it would be helpful.
Yeah, it's a practice from here in our country. Also, they practice in the U.S. In some states like Texas, Arizona, California. It's like a rodeo, Mexican rodeo. We have with the rope, and also we use cows. Also horseback riding.
We saw the horses that were out there when we were at the farm, and God, those were beautiful horses.
Yeah, that's where we had breakfast.
Yeah, we had the breakfast out there in the agave field, and I felt so privileged to be there. It was surreal to us to be out in the agave fields having this breakfast, and everything was beautiful, and just the steam from the dew was going up into the air and the sun's coming up. It was just a beautiful breakfast, and I can't imagine. That was so great. Let's go on to the añejo. Obviously, we've talked about this. Now let's go ahead. We'll get into the añejo. Will you let the folks know about the añejo? How long do you?
Well, it's the same also. I just made the same recipe from the other both brands. Yeah. But the difference here in añejo is the 24
months.
24 months.
Wow. So you're just almost getting to the point where you're going to be an extra añejo on that, but
almost.
This was your first. You guys came out with this one first.
Is that? Yes. That's correct.
Because most every brand out there starts with this, then they move to this, then they move to this. You know what I mean? You guys started with this, and that's kind of amazing to me. I love that.
The same recipe that my grandfather used to have was Hacienda Vieja Reposado. It's the same old recipe. Then they start with Hacienda Blanco.
Okay.
And they only they never have an añejo. So the meaning from having an añejo and to having a honor from my grandfather was bringing out Don Felix Añejo.
Okay.
Then by the year pass, come out Plata and then the Reposado.
Right. We've got that Hacienda Vieja, the Blanco, which is delicious. And we've taken that to a party. We went to a Christmas party and we took it with us actually, and everybody enjoyed that as well. So I'm gonna get on my little computer and pick up the reposado later on down the road and see what that one tastes like for us as well. But let's get into this. What are you getting on the nose?
I'm getting like a nice bread pudding.
Okay.
So like the sweetness, the spices, just a well balanced drink, nice agave forward.
I honestly get the same nose as this, but a little, just a tinge sweeter. That's the best way I can explain it.
I think is way more mellow.
You think so? Okay.
And out of the bottle, I got a beautiful like tobacco and like cigar, flavoring from the bottle, which is fantastic. I mean, I would totally grab one of my favorite cigars and pour me a glass of this and just sit there and enjoy it.
No, yeah, I definitely I get the sweet vanillas, maybe a little caramel in this one.
I was gonna say some orange to that.
Orange, so you're getting some citrus, huh?
Yeah.
I think on the 3 o'clock I get some citrus. A little bit. I wouldn't call it an orange. Maybe, yeah. But I'm now getting more barrel notes in there now at the 6 o'clock. I'm getting more of that vanilla and the oak and a little more.
Yeah, as you're coming up the clock, it gets sweeter, which is very cool.
Yeah, I agree. Man, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go in. One more time, salute.
Okay, so let's talk about viscosity for a second here. That one seems to have definitely a little bit more of a stick to it, and especially on the palate, it wants you to remember it. So I understand why this is one of your guys' number ones, because it's there, and then when we go into, like the flavors, it is a beautiful it's a beautiful, agave. I love the barrel that is there. And it's just between the agave and the barrel, it just is a sweet bomb, for lack of a better term, meaning the oak that it sat in with the original agave just has married so well that you get a beautiful sweetness out of it.
Agreed. I do get some beautiful. I get beautiful sweetness, vanillas. We're getting. So I'm gonna tell it like a lot of whiskey people would understand. Whiskey, bourbon, to a more mellowed out. So this one has that whiskey, not exactly a bite. I don't want to say bite, but there's a whiskey flair to it. This is more like a bourbon to me, that it's nice and sweet and but instead of getting that sweet corn, you're getting sweet agave. I hope that makes sense to a lot of people out there. That would be, and agave is beautiful as itself, and it's delicious. And I don't know. I'm a fan. I do like this as well. This is definitely a good sipper with a nice cigar and just chilling out in the backyard, watching everybody else do work.
and I get a beautiful citrus at the very end of it. So I think you have every component in there that any, alcohol lover would enjoy. So, you've got the basics of your agave, you got that spice, you got that sweetness, you got that citrus. Man, you're hitting a home run here.
I'm getting I definitely get the cinnamons and this. I do get a little bit of citrus, but I also get mint on this one. I'm getting more mint that opens up on the back palate. It almost has a starting of an anise, almost like a like black licorice, but not pronounced so hardcore. But it's just all kind of melds together wonderfully. That's my opinion. And everybody out there, I always tell everybody, drink what you like. It's your life. But man, if you've got a chance, these are amazingly priced, and I'm happy to say that the price line does not break the bank, but you can have a different expression and enjoy life.
And if you ask me, this is one that all of you should have on your bar.
That's right.
And I don't say that very often.
No, he doesn't.
I don't.
I'm like, oh God, careful. What's he gonna say?
But
No.
but this is one that everyone should have on their bar, for entertaining to a hard Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week, and you need a drink just to come back to Thursday and have a fight with your boss, and then a beautiful Friday.
That's
This is that drink. It is. And let's talk about seasons. You've got every season here. You've got your summer, you've got your fall and spring, and you've got your winter. So these guys are definitely on the right track. It is several years of history that you've been doing it. So my hat's off to you. You guys have done a great job.
Definitely. All right. In closing, because I know you got to get going, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes for us. We are just going to ask real quick, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience about future plans, anything that you would like to say more about the brand? And we want to say thank you as well for coming on.
No, thanks guys for inviting me to this conversation. It's amazing for me, and it's an honor also for me and all my partners in the distillery. Well, I meant to mention, since Ana Maria already came to the distillery, we have a different vision from how to make tequila, and to mention that all our brands, including Don Felix, are already additive free.
Yes.
They are already additive free. Right now, we are running out a new production, and we are certifying from to being kosher also our product.
Very
okay.
cool.
So, kosher. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, and as we were talking this morning, we're hoping to be able to make a trip back probably the middle to end of next year as well to touch base with you guys and
this year.
Did I say next year?
You did say next year.
Sorry, this year, 24. Because we hope to be able to touch base with you guys when we come back and get an in-person update about everything and how you guys hopefully are growing and still doing it right. I know Ana Maria will be more than happy to should give us a progress update as well. And so like we told her on her flight home, we are so happy that you're part of our family, and we can't wait to visit again.
Yeah, also, well, next week, tomorrow morning, Monday, we're flying all the way to Las Vegas. We're going to the convention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you are going there.
I'll be in Vegas that coming weekend. I'm supposed to be in Vegas that weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna have words
for work, but I'm supposed to be there, so maybe
that'd be awesome. Well, again, thank you, Juan Pablo. I appreciate you taking the time. We are humbled that you had let us share your expressions with the world, and I can't wait to see what else comes about. And I know you're going to have great luck with the new distillery there out on the farm. That's going to be a big helpful portion to keep getting more places, more than just the Singapore.
I know. Well, actually, the machine just arrived 2 weeks ago. We are we are all sampling and waiting for to run away that machine. So when it started, you will be invited and to see how it works.
All right. Yes,
awesome.
please.
Well,
We would love that.
in quick closing, if you haven't hit like and share with us yet,
yes.
please make sure you do that. Is there anywhere on the socials that they can, support Hacienda Vieja and on Felix?
Like on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, you can find us in our social media in Hacienda Vieja, Tequila Hacienda Vieja, and also Tequila Don Felix. You can find us
All right.
in both in social media also.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you again. And you guys have a great day. And we appreciate it again.
And don't
but
forget
until that,
then to always sip, savor, and
celebrate.
celebrate.
Salud.